name is Millie and welcome to the Performing Arts and Me. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the ideas that I had for a gap year pre-drama school. Now, obviously, I'm not really taking a gap year as such pre-drama school. I'm doing a foundation course, although some people would say that that's kind of a gap year. The thing is with drama school auditions is there's so many people auditioning and there's only a certain amount of spaces. So there was no guarantee that I was going to get in. I didn't think I was going to get in. The week before I got my email saying I got into Bird, I was planning in even more depth than I already have done, which I'll explain to you what I had already planned. I was starting to plan my gap year because I didn't think I was going to get in. I'd already had, 2-3 rejection emails, maybe more, and I didn't think I was getting in anywhere, so I was planning my gap year. However, even before that point, I'd been thinking of ideas and coming up with a timetable and things that I could do in the weeks, because I love planning and things like that. But to start with, I didn't really want to plan a gap year at all. I felt like if I planned out a gap year, then I was wasting time and energy that I could have spent on preparing for my drama school auditions, and therefore it wasn't really worth it. And if I was focusing partly on plan B, then plan A was going to get less attention. But my parents suggested that I planned out some things, because if I didn't find out that I hadn't got in anywhere until later on, and then I had to do the research and then decide, oh, I want to do this, well, it might have been too late to book it by then. So they suggested that I started planning out my gap year a bit earlier, which I did eventually do. And I think it was good advice, because I was getting excited about my plans for my gap year. And I think that that meant that when I was auditioning, there was less stress, because if I didn't get in, it was fine. I had a backup plan. I would just try again next year to go to drama school, and I'd spend the year doing all of these activities that I'd thought up, and it would be a fun year and I'd get to improve in my training. Now, obviously, I did get into drama school, which is really exciting, but I thought I'd share with you some ideas that I came up with for a gap year, because they might be things that you want to adapt for your own gap year, or just be fun activities that you want to do maybe in the last few weeks of the summer, or maybe next summer, or whenever you like. So I thought I'd share what I'd planned with you. However, I would just like to say a little disclaimer. I come up with really elaborate plans and they don't always work out. I think I'd packed in quite a lot into my supposed gap year, and it probably wouldn't have all happened in the way it was planned out. Also, remember to check anything before you book it, because it might have changed since I looked into it. But yeah, I'm going to get started on sharing my ideas now. Now, the main aim of my gap year was to get me into drama school the next year, so that's kind of what it's focused on. I almost wanted my gap year to be like a foundation year. Obviously, it's not a foundation year, and it was going to be from home and at various other places, but I was kind of modelling it on the hours that I'd heard that drama schools ran for and things like that. However, I made a timetable, which I've got here on my lap, and I've packed in the classes from 8 until like 6. Now, my Bird College hours, I think, are going to be something like 8:30 till 6:45, but we're not going to have classes all the time, so this probably wasn't practical. But I'm going to kind of read it out to you and explain my ideas and see what you think. So I wanted to start off each weekday morning with something that wasn't at all drama school related, and that was languages, because I did A-level Spanish and I didn't want to forget that over a gap year. So twice a week I wanted to do an hour's worth of Spanish in the morning, and then the other 3 weekdays I wanted to learn French, because I thought that would keep my brain active, and I enjoy learning languages, so my plan was to learn French. After that, on a Monday, Wednesday and Friday, I wanted to do an hour of ballet in the morning. I felt like ballet was a really key part of dance training, because, they say all your technique in ballet helps all your other disciplines. So I wanted to really focus on that, and also I really enjoy ballet anyway. On Tuesday morning, I was going to go shopping straight after that, like food shopping and things like that, because that's the day my mum goes shopping, and I thought I probably ought to go with her and like learn to be a student type thing. And then after shopping, I was going to do the ballet practice that I would have done on some of the other days as my second class. On the Thursday morning, I was going to do jazz first thing, and then after that commercial. On the Monday, Wednesday, Friday, it was going to be jazz, jazz, jazz as my third class of the day. So, and then on Monday, Wednesday, Thursday and Friday, I was planning to do piano practice for half an hour, because I play the piano and I didn't want to lose that skill either. Then after that, on the Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I was going to do singing practice for an hour, whilst on the Tuesday, after doing my ballet, I was going to do acting and then singing, and then have lunch. On the Monday and Wednesday before lunch, I was going to do commercial, as in like dance, commercial dance. And then on the Thursday I was going to do lyrical, and the Friday I was going to do contemporary. After lunch on Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I was going to do acting for an hour. I'll explain how I was going to do all of this training that I'm saying I was going to do in a minute, but let me just finish running through the timetable that I have here. So after that I was going to do acting, and then on Monday, Wednesday, Friday after acting I was going to do tap, whereas on the Thursday I was going to do modern. The Tuesday after lunch I was going to do contemporary, and then I was going to go to my dance school to do some volunteering with the younger classes, and then also take my own dance lesson. After tap on Monday, I was going to do modern, and then after tap on Wednesday, I was going to do acro. After modern on Thursday, I was going to do contortion, and after tap on Friday, I was going to do something that I've got down as show, which again I'll explain in a second. If you want to skip past me going through the rest of my timetable, please feel free to skip ahead. After I finished all my classes, apart from on the Tuesday, which is a bit different because I was going to go to dancing for that long amount of time, I was going to do some work for an hour. I'll tell you about that again in a second. And then I was going to have dinner. On Monday, I was going to have my singing lesson as I normally would. And then I've got half an hour before I start winding down and chilling. On the Tuesday, after I come home from dancing, I was going to work for an hour. On Wednesday, I was just going to chill. On Thursday, I was hoping to be doing my Advanced 1 ballet class. Although I hadn't started Advanced 1 at this point, I was doing my intermediate, and I think I must have known by the time I did this timetable that I would have finished my intermediate syllabus by then, and so I would hopefully be going into Advanced 1. So that's why I've got that on there. And then on Friday, I was just going to chill. Saturday, I've got down Spanish for an hour, a couple of hours of work, piano for half an hour, lunch, YouTube for a couple of hours, then another ballet class, which I think is the other Advanced 1 class at my dance school, and then free time. Now that's kind of an outline of the timetable. As I said, it's kind of packed in. Now I'm going to explain how I was going to do those classes, training, practice, whatever, and what on earth I was talking about with some of the weirder names that I'd given to my hour slots. So first of all, quickly with my French and Spanish, because that's not really the focus of this channel. I guess I was going to do a bit of vocab, Spanish listening, like listening to the radio, something like that, reading a Spanish book, anything that's in the language that would help me to practice my Spanish. Don't forget I have a Spanish YouTube channel if anyone does speak Spanish. It's Una Inglesa, and you can go and see that if you would like. So as I mentioned in my last video, which if you're planning to train at home and you haven't seen it, I would really advise going to check that out. For dance classes, there's loads and loads on YouTube, and my main plan was to find dance classes on YouTube. So I think I was planning to do, maybe in the first session, to do the class and just run it from start to finish and try and work on my pickup speed with exercises and things like that. On my second hour slot of the week, I think my idea was I would go through any bits that I'd struggled with or I wasn't sure about, work on my technique, etc, etc, etc. And then in the ones where I had a third and fourth class, I think it kind of depended on the discipline. So for ballet, I probably would have done some practice on my syllabus work using the RAD app. And for some of the others, I was planning to do a bit of choreography and practice towards performances. Now obviously if I'm at home it's a bit hard to do performances, but I was planning to film performances of dances that I choreographed and put them up on YouTube so that it felt like I was getting a bit of performance experience. Even though obviously it's not the same, it gives me something to work towards. So each term I would have broken down kind of what I was focusing on. So maybe one time I would have choreographed, rehearsed and filmed a ballet performance, and then the next time I would have done jazz, contemporary, I don't know what I would have done, but that was kind of the idea behind that. And that I think is what my show session from Friday would have been for. That would have been for like filming my performance ready to put on YouTube. With acting, I had some exercises from a book called 100 Exercises to Get You into Drama School or something like that. So I think I was planning to do some of those and also work on things like accents, comedy. I don't think I'd really come up with an idea of how to actually practice that, but I was planning to focus on a different thing each term. So the first couple of terms would have been focusing in on monologues, because that would have been what I had to do for my drama school auditions. So maybe the first term would have been on Shakespeare monologues, and the second term would have been on contemporary monologues, and then after that I might have done acting for film, acting for camera, I don't know. I'm not sure how I would have worked on those. Maybe I would have done some research in some of the lessons into how to prepare a monologue, and then I would have tried going through it, acting in different ways. I'm not 100% sure. With singing, I think my idea was to kind of work on a song a week. So again, I break the terms down by genre. So I probably would have done legit ballads for the first term and then a contemporary upbeat for the second term, because that would have been what I used in my auditions. And if I'd have spent maybe 6 weeks per term and I'd done a song a week, that would have given me a few songs to choose from. And so the first lesson I could have looked up the song, researched it, and then the second I could have learnt the tune, third research the character, I don't know, things like that, so that by the end of the week I'd have a completed song. And then every term maybe I would have recorded a song to put online. For work, I think I was planning to set up some sort of craft business, like a shop on Etsy type thing, but to be honest I don't think that would have worked. Seeing how much effort it is taking me to make YouTube videos each week, I think the craft shop would have filtered out into nothing. And then as I said, I was planning to keep going with my dance lessons, so volunteering at one of my dance schools, I was planning to keep going with that, and then if they'd let me carry on with my classes there, then I would have done that as well. And like I said, I would have wanted to carry on with my ballet classes if that was allowed, and also my singing lessons. For some reason, my private dance lesson isn't on this timetable, but I would have wanted to carry on with that as well. I was also planning to do YouTube, which obviously I'm doing now, and I think I massively underestimated the amount of time that was going to take, because looking at this timetable here and thinking about the hours that I put into YouTube at the moment, they don't correlate. I also had some other ideas for a pre-drama school gap year. For example, I probably would have looked at doing some holiday courses at drama schools, like summer courses or Easter courses, things like that. Also, places like RADA have courses throughout the year that you can pay to do, and although those things would have cost money, that might have been a good investment because it would have been actually taking classes with someone rather than just videos on YouTube. In terms of performance experience, as I mentioned in my training history and goals video, I'd done things called reproductions and Nevenden Manor in the past, and I would have wanted to do that again if I'd had the opportunity. I also would have liked to audition for pantos and maybe student films as well, to try and get a bit more performance experience. It was a bit different. And I was also thinking about being part of Universal Extras, which is an online casting thing that offers you roles for extras parts. However, you do have to pay if you're not a student. I've had it all this year, and I have had several texts from them like suggesting I apply for these different roles, but I've been so busy that I've hardly ever had the dates free that they're asking for, and so they just say I'm not really suitable for the part. So I've never actually had anything off there, and maybe look into it before signing up to it, because I don't know how good it is. But I did have someone recommend it to me. It was actually my vicar, and he'd had an extras part with them before, so it could be something to look into, but kind of be careful with it, because if you're not a student, you do have to pay, and I think it is generally recommended in the industry not to pay an agency, like a talent agency. Generally, they get their earnings by taking a commission from your work, and if you're not a student, you would have to pay them. So I don't know, be careful. I found another section on a sheet of paper which says I was considering doing Spanish tutoring, so maybe that was also going in my work slot, which probably would have been a bit more successful than selling craft stuff online. I was also considering doing a bit of photography and maybe taking some stock photos and uploading them, but I'm not sure that would have made me money either. And I've also got here about doing Spanish translation work online, but I'm not sure whether I would have been able to get any of that, because when I looked for it, it was quite difficult to get jobs that were translating Spanish into English. Okay, I'm gonna have to end this video here because we need to go to IKEA so I can get some stuff for my room for when I'm at college. So I'm gonna have to finish here. I hope that this video has been helpful and you've enjoyed it. If it has been useful, please do give it a like to let me know, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss my future videos. If you've got any questions about anything in this video, because I feel like it was a bit of a rush, then please do let me know down in the comments, and I will try and reply to you and explain what on earth I was talking about. Or alternatively, you can message me over on my Instagram, which is called The Performing Arts and Me, so you can go and follow me over there if you don't already. Sorry it's been a bit of a rush and I feel like it's a bit all over the place, but I wanted to get this video out to you. So if you have made it to the end, thank you very much for watching, and bye!